Vietnamese art and architecture has a long, rich history and has been shaped by the interaction of local customs with foreign cultures. Champa was a Southeast Asian civilization that flourished along the coasts of what is now central and southern Vietnam for roughly a 1,000-year period between 500 and 1700 of the Common Era. It produced Hindu-Buddhist art, with additional influences from Cambodia, China, and Java. A characteristic of Cham art is its sudden spurts of renewal, quite the opposite of the continuity of Angkorian art, for example. Thus, from the first quarter of the 10th century, the Buddhist inspiration of the deeply original Dong Zhuang style gave way to a Hinduist revival marked by a renewed influence from Java. It was from that point that the style now known as Misan A1, thanks to the research of art historians of the early 1930s, was to develop in several stages into one of the crowning achievements of Southeast Asian statuary. Misan is a cluster of abandoned and partially ruined Shiva Hindu temples in central Vietnam. This example of Misan A1 sculpture shows Shiva dancing with 16 arms. It is in gray sandstone and has a height of 87 centimeters. It is from Pong Le and is dated to approximately the early 10th century of the Common Era. Shiva's right foot is on tiptoe, his legs bent at the knee, his left hip rounded. His front right hand rests on the hip, with fingers raised, while the left and all the rear hands are in the same mudra, open palm and thumb touching the tightly bent forefinger. The sculpted area of this relief is structured according to clear symmetrical principles, as is often the case in Cham art. The three worshippers in the mid-plane to the right correspond to the three to the left, while the musicians on the lower plane also correspond to each other. The worshippers' lower bodies are scaly, giving rise to the suggestion that they are Nagas and Nagis, despite their lack of the usual snake hoods. As for the other figures, the harpist and drummer, and those sitting in the listening position, are reminiscent of Javanese sculpture of the same time period. Shiva's hairstyle has 3 levels of braided plaits and small hair locks, along with the identifying crescent moon at the front of his hair. Additionally, he has a rounded beard. The jewelry also bears witness to the uniqueness of this sculpture. While the ear pendants, the bracelets, and the chest belt occur frequently elsewhere, the upper armbands and the anklets with their Naga motifs are much rarer. Another example of the Misan A1 style is the dancer's pedestal of Trakyo, a 10th century Cham sculpture in sandstone. The figures are a dancing Apsara, a Hindu celestial nymph, and a Gandharva musician, a Hindu male nature spirit. This is doubtlessly one of the most widely illustrated of all Cham sculptures, and rightly deserves its renown. The supple curves of the body are in Tribhanga, with the left leg corresponding to the right arm, the angle of the forearm echoing that of the calf, whilst the fully stretched left arm counterpoises the right thigh on which it rests. The jewelry consists of loose hanging belts and triple necklaces, mostly made up of roses and beads. The faces on the pedestal all display serene beauty, and this dancing girl is no exception. Both of these sculptural examples are from the Da Nang Museum in Vietnam.